Team Inspired Team Call. All right, for the month of November, there's a contest. It's called a double time contest. Those of you probably know about it by now. It's the new workout program that just launched. And Tony Horton, who's from P90X, launched the program. And it's a program that was designed to do with your kids, but you can do with anyone. I had planned on going out to buy a rubber ball so Todd and I can do it together and film it, but he has been so sick. Like, I keep thinking he's going to get better, and I don't know, he's still in bed. We'll have to see what happens today. But I'd love to see you guys give this workout a shot with your spouse, with your kids. You do need some type of like ball. It doesn't have to be weighted or anything to do the workouts, but it looks like it's a lot of fun. If you sell any of those challenge packs in the month of November, it's worth 3 Success Club points instead of 2, which is what we usually get for challenge packs. Okay. That's about it, I'd say, for updates for November. December, we are going to get a sneak peek of A Little Obsessed. So in January, 80-Day Obsession comes out, and I can tell you guys, in the 2.5 years I've been a coach, I've never been so excited about a program ever like this one, just because I've seen so many of the people that were involved in the test groups. Their results are awesome. I love the idea of an 80-day workout where every single day is a new workout, because mentally I'm not going to want to skip a day. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to be behind. There's going to be a new one tomorrow. And I feel like that's going to help with the mental game a lot. And it's Autumn, who, if you've ever done 21 Day Fix, I just love anything that Autumn does. She's so motivating. So I'm just excited about that as well. All right, Elite update. So as you know, if you've been on Team Inspired anytime in the last couple months, we're shooting to hit Elite this year as a team. Only the top 200 coaches, and then you also have to have 5 diamonds on the team to be an Elite team. We are super, super close. Now, once we hit, we have to hold it for 6 weeks, and that's kind of the hairy part of it all. But I'm pretty sure we have a good game plan. We've got 3 diamonds on the team right now. My husband, Todd, Wayne Harlan, and Kristen Teagan hit like 3 weeks ago. And my sister, I think, is about a week or so away. And Jen Houston, who just became a coach on August 30th, by the way, guys, she's, I believe, a week or 2 away. Anybody who hits diamond, even if you're not a personally sponsored coach of mine, we automatically get 25 rank points. So especially like Stacy and Natasha, because you guys would bump up another diamond to a star, that immediately bumps our rank by 25 points. To give you guys perspective, everything else that we earn points for, we get 1 to 3 points. So like another diamond on the team to get 25 is pretty crazy, okay, for rank. So anyone who's close to diamond, shooting for it, we can talk on a different call, but anybody on the team hitting Success Club, like how can this be a team effort? Even if you feel like diamond can't happen in 3 weeks, that's okay. Hitting Success Club gives us points. All of that helps. Staying active as a coach helps. It's definitely a team effort. There is no possible way a coach could ever do this alone, which is really exciting. So let's jump into the topic of the day, which is consistency. And every time I pick a topic, I start researching a little bit more and just kind of doing some personal development on the topic. And it was amazing to me how many different sources and resources I was looking at that claim, and I truly believe it, that this is the missing piece to business goals, fitness goals, whatever goal you're talking about. So why consistency? Like what is it about it besides kind of what we already know, right? Like I know a lot of you chose this topic, but we already know a lot of stuff that it's important, but why? So number 1, it allows for measurement of effectiveness, okay? So let's think about this. I'm gonna relate it back to fitness because I think that's something all of us get, right? So if you try a new program, let's say you try 80-Day Obsession, but instead of doing 80-Day Obsession, every 2 weeks you do one of the workouts. Are you going to be able to measure whether or not that was an effective workout? No, because you didn't do it enough to really be able to gauge. And so by being consistent, it doesn't always mean you're going to have the results you want. It means you can actually measure the effectiveness of what you were doing. So if you were to do something, say for 90 days, and then you realize it actually hurt your business or it hurt your fitness, you can go back and say, okay, if I were to take my my before photo and my after photo. And I really did a good job of consistently following this program, and my results got worse. This is probably not the program for me, right? And the reverse is true as well. So if you go back and you look at your results from your business, let's say you do something for 90 days. You're like, I'm going to implement this new program for 90 days. And I did this over the summer when Stacy recommended I check out a training from a coach named Haley Christensen. And she has this 26 method, which I have another video about if anybody wants it. And I've been doing that, I would say about 4 or 5 months now. That's one of the things where I could go back and say, okay, this has been positive for me or it's been negative. And just because it's been positive for someone else doesn't mean it will be for you. But unless you're consistent, you don't have anything to measure. Number 2, consistency establishes your reputation. So let's think about your social media as a coach, right? Posting regularly, sharing your journey. If you are inconsistent with that journey, people are going to wonder if you're still on the journey. Let's take that a step further as a leader. So I've been holding these calls now for a few weeks, I would say, right? If every time we had a call, I was canceling last minute, or sometimes I'd have the call and sometimes I didn't, you guys probably would stop showing up to the call, right? Because now I'm earning reputation as always flaking on the call, and you're going to think, okay, well, she might not even have it. And then I am going to have the call and I'm going to wonder why nobody's on here. I will say this is the most people we've had, except for the time when we had corporate on the call, which is cool because that means consistent behavior, right, has slowly helped us grow just a little bit more each time. Consistency makes you relevant, right? So I go back to social media with this one. If you post like crazy for a month and then you stop not like crazy, but like you're supposed to, and then you stop for a couple months, you are not going to be top of mind to people. And the problem with that is people, when it comes to health and fitness, it is on their own agenda, not yours, okay? So if you're posting and talking about health and fitness, and the person, your audience, is not interested, that's fine. But then in 2 months, when they have a health and fitness goal or something happens or they put on a pair of pants and they don't fit, you are not going to be who they think of, right? Because you're no longer relevant. That's what's so important about being relevant, is that when it's the right time for somebody else, you are still top of mind. Number 4, it maintains your message. So let's think about like our team calls, for example, right? I probably have a style of leadership, and the more you jump on these calls, you know my message, you know what I believe in. I think most of you guys know I'm not a coach that believes in just having talent. Like, I don't think talent's really a big deal. I think hard work and effort trumps talent any day. But if you didn't show up on these calls and you weren't, in contact with me or checking out TeamINSPIRED, you wouldn't know what my message is, right? Well, same with your message and your people. When it comes to health and fitness, there's a lot of messages out there. There are people that are focused on weight, and I'm not saying wrong or right. It's just a different message. There are people that believe in certain diets. There are people that really believe in certain workouts, right? Like it's maybe cardio only or weight only or whatever your message is, and you're entitled to your message. If you aren't consistent, then people aren't going to know what your message is. When I think about Melissa McAllister, top 10 coach, her message is very different than mine, but I respect the fact that she never strays from her message, and she's very consistent in delivering it. She believes in a high-fat diet and intermittent fasting, right? She believes in it, and she consistently shares her journey. And there's a reason that she's a top 10 coach, because she's so consistent in that message. It doesn't matter if that's not what I follow. I know what she stands behind, right? And so make sure whatever your message is, even if it's not about a diet plan, maybe your message is, I'm a really busy mom and I managed to make this work this way. Maybe that's your message, right? Todd, my husband, we had to talk about his message a while back, and he said, it's really that I'm not perfectly fit. I'm fittish. And that's something he got from Christina Delgado, what does that mean? It's the message of like, I try to work out 4 times a week or so. I try to make healthy choices most of the time, but I want some fries with my burger tonight. That's Todd's message. And whatever it is, make sure it's consistent. And the way that you do that, let's talk a little bit more about consistency. So I made a list for our business, okay? When it comes to health and fitness, it's different things that you would do daily or weekly. But I decided I want to narrow this down for you guys. In this business, if you want to be successful, here are the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual things that you should be doing and evaluating for at least 90 days. So if you're not doing these things, in my opinion, for 90 days, you are not in a position to say whether your business is failing or succeeding because you just haven't done these things long enough. Okay, if you've done them for 90 days consistently, not missing any of the daily, weekly, monthly tasks, and then at the quarter you evaluate that it didn't work, then we should probably talk and change things up for you, right? Because there's no one formula, but a lot of these things you've heard before. So daily, what are the daily things that you can do to have a consistent business? I believe you need to have 3 posts on social media every single day. Now, which platform you choose to use, that's totally up to you. In my opinion, 3 is the magic number, okay? And I shoot for that 5 days a week. I don't always do that 7 days a week, okay? 3 posts on social media, and they don't have to be about fitness or health. It could even be about your cat waking you up this morning. That's what mine is about, okay? I snuck some fitness in there too, though, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, what else do you have to do daily? You have to do your workout daily with the exception of rest days, right? Like you should work out daily with the exception of rest, and that's whatever you decide is right for your body, whether that's 1, 2, 3 days, okay? You should drink your Shakeology every day. Why? Because we're telling our customers to. So if we're not walking proof that it's made us healthier and feel better, then we have no right to tell someone else to. And personal development, okay? Just 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes, and I would say if you have a team under you, shoot for 20 minutes so that you could focus on leadership as well. So max 20. I'm not a big fan of a ton of personal development because I think you can't soak it in. I like to read, and unfortunately, if I read too fast, I don't remember anything. So 10 to 20 minutes a day, and it could be audio, it doesn't have to be reading, of personal development. I would be shocked if anyone told me that if you do this, the rest of your life doesn't get better too. Like your relationships with your friends and your family, and even just how you deal with stress, because that's a huge difference I've seen from personal development daily. So those are the daily things that if you do consistently over time, that I believe will help your business. Now, what are the, not just help, boost your business. What are the weekly things? The formula that I believe I've seen work the best, 3 days of 1 hour invites. So you set the timer for an hour and you do 3 days a week. That's probably less than you guys thought, right? Just 3 days a week of 1 hour invites. So if you have not ever done this, I suggest you ask me about a power hour where we get on a Zoom and we do it together. We do it together, okay? Because it makes it so much easier. It feels like, how am I going to do an hour of invites? But when you're on a Zoom together, it feels, and I've done a lot of them this week with you guys, it goes by fast. So 3 days of 1 hour invites, and then 2 days of 1 hour follow-up. So you do 1 hour invite, 1 hour follow-up, and you switch days. And I believe that formula is absolutely awesome for building this business, okay? So those are weekly, 3 days of 1 hour invites, 2 days of 1 hour follow-ups. Schedule those on your calendar so you don't miss them. So that's only 5 days, guys. I will tell you, when I was working in corporate America, I did work this business nights and weekends because I was working during the day, but I still don't think you have to work every day, day and night. And I see people in other businesses, and I even see some Beachbody coaches that are just working this business nonstop, and I don't think you need to do that. Now, when I was working in corporate, I did sacrifice my personal time a lot, but it was the best sacrifice I ever did because my life has changed so much now. And we'll talk more about that sacrifice later. Okay, so weekly, there's a few more things. National Wake Up Call. It's every Monday at 8 a.m. And if you can't listen at 8 a.m., there's always a replay. This is huge because you're going to hear from top coaches that are just normal people. Like these top coaches that were able to quit their jobs, that were able to change their lives physically, mentally, financially. They have problems like you and me, I'll tell you that. And I love hearing the National Wake Up Call because it's a reminder that anybody can do this. Team Call, this one right here. So hopping on every week, it brings us together. It helps remind us of our goals. Ever since I started doing these, I will tell you, I look forward to them more and more every single week. And then what do I believe you should do every single week is use a tracker, the business activity tracker. And if you're brand new and a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense, just reach out to me and I can send you some more information on this training, because I know we have a couple of new folks on the call today, which I love seeing new faces. But if anything's confusing you, don't worry. I have training to back up all this stuff too. Okay, so using a tracker. If you're using your own tracker, that's fine. I use my own tracker, but I'll tell you, you got to use a tracker. In the beginning, I just used the Beachbody tracker, because why reinvent the wheel? So weekly, that will go on the weekly. So what are the monthly things that you should do consistently? Number one is you should wake up on the very first day of every single month and do a goal evaluation. You should see, did I hit my goals from the previous month, and then set new goals. And what are the goals that I believe you should have? You should always have a Success Club goal, and you should always have a goal for growing your team. Even if it's one person, you should always have a goal. Just set a goal, okay? So at the start of the month is goal setting. You should pick a new PD book probably about every month or so. If you got, it depends on how big the book is, right, that you picked for the previous month. Audio or podcast, whatever that is. So about every month or so, I try to find something new. Every month, you should either participate or run your own challenge. Okay, so either participate in a challenge or run one. And guys, I don't follow the 21 day fixed diet every single challenge like perfectly, but there's months where I'm like, I am on the challenge because I need to be. But I don't expect you, just because you're a coach, till the day you're like 75 years old, that you're never gonna come off of it. But even if I like have a month where I'm like, I need a break from challenging, I still participate by being there for my people, right? And then there's a lot of months where I'm actually participating in the challenge with them because I need it and it's a lifestyle. So either way, just be present in a challenge. Let's see. Okay, so that's it for monthly. I put Hit Success Club, but I'll tell you the truth. If you're doing all those other things, Success Club is going to happen. I truly believe that. Okay, if you're doing those daily, weekly things I mentioned, Success Club will happen, especially those invites I mentioned in the follow-ups. Okay, so quarterly, what are the things that you should do to build a consistent business? Team Cup. There's a Team Cup every quarter. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. I'll post about it on TeamINSPIRED. Just join. First time I joined a Team Cup, I was like, I have no clue what this is, but sure. Audrey and I were on it together. I really had no idea what it was, and we ended up coming in the 7th team out of 25,000 teams. I have no clue how we did it, because I will say ever since then I've tried to beat that and I can't even get close. And we did it just beginner's luck probably. I don't know what it was, but it was awesome. And then every 90 days you should evaluate everything you did to see if it worked. So I believe with consistency, if you're doing something for 90 days and you've really never missed these things I told you for daily, weekly, monthly, you should be able to accurately measure whether or not it was a success. Annually, what should you do? I believe, and I'm going to do one for the coach team this year so we can all do it together, and I'm so excited about it, is you should have a vision board every year updated. And this year I finally did something that I've heard before and I never did it, and I put it in my bathroom. So I wake up to it and I go to bed to my vision board. So we'll do one together. I have it planned for very early January with the coach team. You should do a deep dive into goal setting, and we'll do a whole separate call just on goal setting, because an annual goal setting is a lot different than a monthly. Annually, you should attend Summit. Summit is, as long as you are healthy and able, you should find it everything in you to get to Summit. First time I went to Summit, not a single coach came with me. I dragged my husband with me. You don't need to have a rank to go to Summit. You don't need to have, it doesn't matter. Anybody who can go to Summit should go to Summit. Summit this next year is in Indianapolis. Audrey, who's on the call. By the way, if you guys don't know Audrey is my sister coach. Is that a word? She's not actually on our team. She's on my coach's team, but her and I have been business goal setting partners for a long time now. And she comes out to Summit. She's come out the last 2 years from England. She lives in England. She's not English. She's not British. She's American, but lives in England. So she's not part of the new UK launch, is what I want you guys to realize. But she's come out to Summit. First time she was pregnant. Second time she had a little baby. So I will tell you, no excuses. If you can get to Summit, get to Summit, because it is incredible. There is nothing like Summit. That's what I think annually has to happen for your business. So what can that type of consistency do for you? What can happen if you actually do that? You hear me say like you can have a strong business, but what does that mean? I was talking with Jen the other day, just I think yesterday actually, and we were talking about income, and it never hit me that so many people are very worried about multi-level marketing businesses because they worry the income is going to fluctuate. Now, this is not the case for everybody, but I do want to share something that I realized a while back when I was going through my numbers to make a post. That since I became a Beachbody coach, my income every month has never gone backwards, not 1 month. That doesn't mean it significantly jumped up every month, but it's never taken a step back. And I know why that is. Even though there's months where I didn't hit Success Club as high. Like there were months my Success Club was lower and sometimes it was higher, but because I was consistent. Okay, so I ran or participated in a challenge group, so I had people coming back. I showed up for my coaches, and you guys have been around. Some of you have been around for a long time. There's months I didn't show up as strong. There's months I showed up a lot stronger, but I showed up, right? So that consistency allowed my income to be consistent, which is, I don't think I would have quit my job if it wasn't consistent. It would be too risky. Now, if you can't say that right now, that's okay. Set these things in motion so that you can get to that point where your income is consistent. Because for me with Beachbody, I always hope to make a lot more, but at least I know there's a certain number I'll never go under. And I need that peace of mind, right? I need that peace of mind. The other thing with consistency, so I want to go back to what we talked about earlier about sacrifices. Sacrifices, if they're done inconsistently, are for nothing, you guys. If you're sacrificing hanging out with friends to work your business, if you're sacrificing sleep to work your business, but you're not doing it consistently, you're not getting anything for it. It's almost like you gave away something, but you got nothing for it. So when I look back at the time I was incorporated and I did sacrifice sleep and I did sacrifice a lot of weekends to work, it's worth it today. But if you're not consistent, those sacrifices are all for nothing. They're all for nothing. And it starts to wear thin on you over time. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm sacrificing, but I'm not getting anything for it. So while I do believe that certain sacrifices are absolutely kind of mandatory in the beginning as a coach, like television, stuff like that, I want it to be worth it for you guys. I want you to look back and say, thank goodness I did that. Thank God I actually did that sacrifice, because today I can live the life I want. But if you're not being consistent, you may never get to that point. And then what's the purpose of those sacrifices, right? Then you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I sacrificed and I got nothing for it. And that's not a good feeling. Okay. I want to finish with a couple things and I'm going to open it up for you guys. Don't let motivation be your fuel. Don't let motivation be your fuel to your work ethic. And I take this in my fitness journey as well. Don't let motivation fuel you. What does that mean, right? Because we're always talking about motivation. Here's the problem with motivation. Nobody is motivated every single day. So if you're waiting for motivation to give you that light, that fire, you're never going to be consistent. You just can't, because I've never met anyone who's always motivated. I will tell you guys, there's plenty of days I have no desire to do a power hour. There's plenty of days I have no desire to even post. So what do I do on those days to force me to do it, right? Well, I'll tell you guys what I do. Sometimes I post on TeamINSPIRED and I tell you guys to do it. And I'm like, well, I just told them to do it, so I have to, right? I kind of like to back myself into a corner. That's always worked very well for my personality. This week, you guys, you know what I really want to do this week? My head is so filled with this elite stuff. The only thing I want to do is sit at my back office and look at the elite numbers and like hit refresh. And I don't want to invite anyone. I don't want to recruit coaches and I don't want to do anything else because I just want to focus on this goal. But you can't do that. And so what did I do to force myself to do invites? I went on our team page and I said, who wants to power hour with me? So I did a power with Jen and Stacy, and I did one with Natasha. I've gone next week with Jessica. Kristen, I did one. Susie and Jennifer and I did one. And so what happened was I was forced to work my business when I really genuinely will tell you guys this week, I did not feel like it. All I wanted to do was keep hitting refresh and seeing if anything changed. Because those new invites are not going to change elite right now. Not really. Like they might have a small effect, but it's going to build a future. And what I don't want to do is hit elite today and then wake up in February and my business has completely tanked, right? Because it's about that 90-day mark. So what do you do in order to build consistency, because it's not motivation. Motivation is great, but you're just not going to always have it. I believe having a partner or someone else to do this with, right? Reaching out to someone when you don't want to do those things that you know you're supposed to do, kind of like our challenge group, right? That's why we have it, so that you log on and you say, I don't feel like pushing play, but I'm going to do it. Same thing with your business. When you have a week where you look back at that week and you're like, I have not sent a single invite, I haven't posted, this week is awful. What do? You reach out to someone on the team and you go, hey, can we power hour together? Can we do this together? Because once you book that power hour, it's kind of hard to get out of it. Now you're stuck, right? And you feel good at the end. It's just like your workout. Like, how many times do you just not want to do it? And then after you're done, you're like, I feel so good, I did it. Same thing with this business, okay? So back yourself into a corner if you have to. I know it sounds funny, but that's literally what I do when I'm not motivated. Or I'll book a weekly call, right? Because I used to do these calls inconsistently and people wouldn't show up. And so finally I was like, we are doing them whether people show up or not, okay? And they're on the calendar, so I can't get out of it. Where in the past, I just booked them kind of all over the place, and it was really easy to go 3 months and never have a team call. But now it's on the calendar, I can't get out of it. And now I love it, I really do. But you have to kind of force yourself to get to that point. The other thing is share your goals, and share the bad months too, not just the good ones, you guys. Like when I post on Team Inspired and I say, where are you at for Success Club? Where are you going to be? It can feel icky sometimes to respond 0, right? Like that, I don't like that. Neither do you, right? But do it anyways. Because if you share the good and the bad, just like on our challenge group page, sometimes it's the kick you need to get you to actually turn it around. All right, so I am going to unmute you guys. I just want to hear from you. Thoughts? I'm sure I missed stuff, so please tell me, either on the consistent activities, or share whatever. I unmuted everyone. If someone's really loud, I'm going to mute you back.
That was really good. Oh.
Whoever wants to go.
I just have a quick question about, obviously this is like amazingly laid out and something that's very easy to strive for in terms of like, I completely believe in everything you just said. What do you recommend if you get a little bit behind? Like, do you recommend that you play catch up, or do you recommend that you just like start in a different, like, do you know what I mean?
Don't play catch up, because here's what happens when you play catch up, in my opinion, with this stuff. And it's happened to me before, guys. I can't say I've been perfect, right? Consistency and perfect are two different things. Consistency is I have strived to do these things almost as much as possible. Most of the time I'm doing them, but I definitely have weeks where I'm not, right? I never try to have like all this weekly and daily stuff. But the problem, there you go. The problem with playing catch up is you get into this cycle in your head where you're like, oh my God, I have like 2 days from last week and I got 3 from this week. And now you are just avoiding it because it's so scary, right? So no, in my opinion, the only things you would catch up on are like the annual, right? Like if you didn't make a vision board and it's March, which I didn't do this year, I made it like halfway through the year, go back and make that vision board. Stuff like that. But the daily and the weekly, nope, just jump right in and take it from that day, whatever, and don't worry about the catch up, okay? And they feed into each other. If you're not doing the posts on social media, it's going to be hard to do 3 days of invites, because if you've seen my process, and if you haven't, I can send you the video on this, the invites are based on those posts, right? So they all feed off of each other, but catch up can be very overwhelming, and it almost feels like you're a hamster on a wheel. So that's a really good question, Stacey. In my opinion, nope, take today as the first day again and just go for it. Nothing on here really needs catch up. Like, for example, National Wake Up Call, okay? Let's say you've missed the last 5. When are you going to find 5 hours to sit down and listen to them? Instead, just start listening to the National Wake Up Call tomorrow, and then maybe 2 months from now, you're on an airplane and you've got 3 hours to kill. It's like, oh, you know what? I'll listen to those National Wake Up Calls. But do I think you should go back and do 5 hours before you listen to tomorrow's? No, just jump on tomorrow's. Mm-hmm. Okay, does that help?
Yep.
Good question. Audrey?
So it's not really a question. It's just more of along the lines of what you're saying. It was just something I heard from Amanda Dewey on a call that she did for Team Heart a while ago, where she compared your business to a pot of boiling water. Do you remember that?
I love it. Tell the story. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to mess it up, and you can just go through it because I've got like this one on my lap with a flashlight in my face. But basically, like when you have a pot of boiling water and you take it off the stove and put it on the countertop, what happens? It stops boiling. But if you kind of move it towards like life happens and like you have seasons in your business, like you have seasons in your life. If you need to like move the pot of water towards the back, but it's still kind of simmering, think about your business as this pot of water. It's still simmering. Like you're still doing the consistency piece on social media, but maybe you're not running challenge groups. You're still keeping your water warm. So when the season in your life changes and you're able to get back into it, you're not starting from a cold pot of water. It starts to boil again very quickly. Does that make sense?
You said it perfectly. That's how I remember it. I love that.
Okay. Yeah. So I loved everything you said was so great, and the consistency. I think we talked about like a few weeks ago. It's just so important. It's going to be different for everybody, and how it's going to affect your business, and what consistency looks and feels like for you might be different. But truly and honestly, if you just pick a few things to be consistent with, like Zaina said, it'll keep your water at least simmering. So when you're able to super focus, then that water is going to be like rumbling, you know? So just don't ever let the pot go off the stove and you'll be good.
Anybody else? We all know each other. You guys can all jump in.
I love the motivation factor. And I was going to ask you this, because you hear that a lot where people are like, I'll do it when, you know, I want to, actually, a girl actually posted to me the other day. She's like, I just don't understand how you just stay motivated. Like, if I was as motivated as you, I would do it. You know, like you hear that. Like, if I just had the motivation, you know, or you know, what do you do to find the motivation? But I love that you said, like, you know, well, you don't let that be your fuel. But what's your favorite thing, or, you know, to say? Because that's a very common thing that people say. And when they talk to me, it's just like, oh, you have such drive. You know, they think just, you know, things are just simple, but it's like, no, I don't wake up just, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to, you know, do every, you know, like I am excited. I didn't say that right. You know, but it's not like I'm motivated every day, like, oh, I want to work out. You know, it's discipline. But what would you say to someone that is a challenger or someone who wants to be a coach that's like, you know, I'm just going to get motivated first and then I'll do it type of thing?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer in habits, not motivation. Because I think if you do things enough when you're not motivated to do them, they become habits. Like the whole brushing your teeth. Like, how many of us are motivated to brush our teeth? No, like I'm not motivated. I'm motivated by the end result, right? But the actual brushing of my teeth just becomes a habit. The other thing I will say is it goes back to something we've talked about so many times, and it's like the why. Like, why are you doing this? For me, if I think about the why when I'm not motivated, it's like I still want the goal. I still want the end result. And I talked about backing myself into a corner. I like to do that, like forcing myself to do things and not giving myself an out, so that when I don't have motivation, I don't have a choice. You know, that's one of the reasons I like teaching fitness. I don't have a choice. I have to show up. That's why I like running challenge groups, because I don't have a choice. I just sold these people all challenge packs. Like, I can't flake on this anymore, right? Like, I have no option. So for me, so what do I say to people though that say like, I wish I had your motivation? I flat out will say, like, you'd be really surprised how many days I don't have motivation, but putting myself in a position where I can't get out of it forces me to make it a habit.
Accountability is amazing.
It really comes down to that. It's totally showing up because you said you're going to. There's a million things that I don't want to do, but I've already signed up for. Like, that's how I feel about my life. I'm like, I signed up. I have to be there. And when people say that, I say, like, you'd be shocked how much I'm not motivated on many days. But I kind of back myself into a corner. I can't. And then afterwards, I'm always so happy. Like, I'll tell you guys, when we ran the Super Saturday event 2 months ago, right? I didn't want to run a Super Saturday. Like, I didn't want to run it. We haven't had a Super Saturday in Fresno, like a real one. And I don't actually like running these types of things. Like, that's not, but somebody needed to do it. And what you don't know is the previous Super Saturday, I signed up on the Beachbody page, and then I canceled it last minute. So I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. I want to go to a Super Saturday. I don't want to run one. So I backed out, and I felt so awful about it. I was like, what a loser. Like, I just canceled my own Super Saturday. And so then I signed up again on the Beachbody page to run a Super Saturday. So there's no Super Saturday. And once I did it, it was amazing. Like, I loved the whole experience, but I dreaded it. But I forced myself to do it, right? So I don't even know if I backed out again. So I'm just honest with people that people always think you have tons of motivation because you work out or something. That's such a bad assumption.
Well, it's an excuse.
It is. It's exactly what it is. It's totally an excuse. That's really what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. Bye, Audrey. We love you.
You say bye?
Bye.
Yeah, have a good week.
Can I watch Trends now?
Yes.
All right, guys. Everybody good? Hi. Hi, Audrey. Hey, anybody need any help with something we didn't talk about? Just anything at all?
Ghosting. I need to go look up your videos again on ghosting. I've got a lot that I need to re-follow up with.
Don't overwhelm yourself. Just pick like one a week or something, You'll be fine.
One person a week?
What?
One person a week?
You're cutting out. You want to type your question? Because I can't hear you.
I haven't been able to see you guys again the whole time today.
You what?
I haven't been able to see you guys again today.
That's so weird. Okay, you and I we'll figure that out together because I can see you, Jess.
Okay. I'm just looking at a bunch of clips.
That's really weird because we can see you, so your camera's on. If you are going to go back and watch any video, if you haven't, I recommend watching the one about my brain book. So go to my YouTube channel, Z Slingsby, and then unless you already know what I'm talking about with the 26 invites, but if that is confusing to you.
No, I do. I just need to look back up how to reach back that has ghosted me.
Oh, okay. Then watch the one about what to say. That one is really good.
What to say.
What to say, yeah. What to say. Word tracks or what to say, whatever that one's called. That's a good one for that, for all the ghosting. All right, you guys, anybody else? Everybody good? Yeah. All right, team. Thanks for helping me start my morning off in the best way. Love you guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.